All right, we're going to get started 5 minutes after, so let's get going. So, hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. Whether you're already a partner or working with us, or if you're new here, we're super glad to have you. Just some quick housekeeping items. If you have any questions during the webinar, drop them in the Q&A and we'll get to it towards the end. And then don't worry about taking a ton of notes because we're going to send you a follow-up email with a recording of the webinar, relevant links and all the resources that we're talking about. So just some quick introductions. I'm Bailey Cummins. I'm the head of marketing at Orange Domains, and I'll be acting kind of as your host today. And I'm joined by my colleagues. We have Don Ruiz, Orange Domains General Manager, and then Mo Mukherjee, who is our head of partnerships and operations. A lot of you guys probably already know us from our time with .blog or .cloud or Newfold Digital. So we thought we'd share some fun facts in place of a formal introduction, and we're going to start with Don. So for Don, in addition to being a hockey coach for his kids, he also writes screenplays in his spare time, which is very interesting. For Mo, her newest hobby has been Pilates, which is really anchored in self-growth and reflection for her, and she just surpassed 100 classes, which is super amazing. And then for me, I enjoy cooking and baking. And recently I won my friend's guacamole competition. So accolades to me. Now, altogether, we have over 50 years of experience in domains, hosting, and security. And now we're tackling the next frontier of the internet, which is Web3. So today we're going to be talking about .locker, our top level domain name that isn't just another domain extension. What makes it different is that it works like a traditional domain name, but also as a Web3 digital identity. So that means it has real Web3 utility, and that gives people ownership, interoperability, and security in ways that other domains just can't do right now. So we've got a lot of good stuff on the docket today. Let's dive in. First, we're going to go to Dawn, who's going to kick it all off by breaking down the tech side of Locker and why it's such a game changer. And then we'll transition over to Mo and me, and we're going to discuss our digital asset reward engine program. So, Dawn, why don't you take it away with Locker? Dawn, I hate to say it, but you're on mute.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. And thank you all for coming to learn more about .locker. As Bailey mentioned, .locker is a top level domain that we launched last October, October 23rd of last year. And the purpose of .locker was to create a seamless connection between Web2 domain names and corresponding Web3 digital identities, which is exactly what we did. So people always ask, like, why .locker? And the answer is simple. So first, .locker is an ICANN TLD that was available and not previously launched. Therefore, it was more straightforward to develop a user-friendly Web2 to Web3 solution for new users. And second, the meaning, connotation, and brand of .locker aligns extremely well with self-ownership and security, which are two main pillars of Web3. So Web3 is considered, as we all know, kind of the next big thing. I think AI kind of falls into that bucket as well. But Web3 in particular, because it represents a fundamental shift in how the internet works, from only centralized platform control networks to decentralized user owned and trustless systems. So, people see this as very transformative and for many different reasons. Here's a few. Ownership and control. So Web 2, your data, identity, and content are controlled by centralized platforms like Google, Meta, X, etc. In Web 3, users own their digital identities, their assets, their data through blockchains and smart contracts, giving them sovereignty over what they create and share. The trustless systems, that's hard to say. Instead of relying on intermediaries like banks and corporations and governments to validate transactions, Web3 uses cryptography and decentralized networks. So this reduces risk, obviously, for fraud and gatekeeping and making systems more resilient and also transparent. There's new economic models. There's token economies, which allows users to be rewarded financially just for their participation. That could be contributing to content, validating transactions, playing games, etc. And this creates opportunities for creators and communities to capture value, not just for the corporations. DeFi has been the mainstay of Web3 and opens up a new form of currency and investments for many people as well. And then the community power. So we're giving power back to the users. Web3 supports decentralized autonomous organizations where communities collectively own and govern projects. This flips the traditional corporate model by giving decision-making power to users, not just shareholders. There are others reasons as well. If you think about it, there's the interoperability and digital identity part is kind of the space that we play in. And the digital identities, like ones through BNS, ENS, or SNS, which is Solana, can move across platforms from Web 2 to Web 3 seamlessly, like we have done with .locker. So it's one identity for all uses, both Web 2 and Web 3. Reputation, assets, and credentials become portable and no more being locked into, a single application like Facebook, Twitter, Google, of sorts. So in addition, there's programmable assets now in a form of currency and tokens, where Web3 introduces, smart contracts with that automated agreements without that middleman. And this enables innovations like DeFi, which is kind of the main application in Web3 today, NFTs, DAOs, digital twins, which is, taking a physical asset and attaching it to a digital asset as well. There's digital sovereignty and inclusivity as well. So Web3 opens participation to anyone with an internet connection, and that's important because it becomes global, or it is global as well. And this creates global access to finance, identity, government, and applications alike. As you see here, we have a graph. There's no good presentation without a graph, I guess. So we included one. As you see, the Web3 sector is experiencing rapid growth. The market size is expected to reach $100 billion by 2034, which is just a few short years away. It is, from our research, it has over 3,200 startups and more than 17,000 registered companies. And the Web3 sector employs over 500,000 professionals, with just 100,000 new employees added just this past year. So the industry has a- attracted significant investment, averaging about 10 million per funding round, and over 2,300 investors. And last year alone, there was an estimated 10 billion in funding for Web3 projects, and in 2025, that number is projected to double. So with all this investment, the startup ecosystem is growing fast with new protocols, applications, innovative projects, all being launched each month. It seems like every time you turn on, you read any news about Web3, there seems to be a new application is being launched. And there's a lot of work being done, obviously, on the Web2 side to help in that regard as well. So, what exactly is .locker? We'll dive into it now, kind of get into the heart of it. So .locker is first and foremost a solution that maps Web2 domain names to corresponding Web3 digital identities through the user, which is the first of its kind to do so. And in doing so, we're able to preserve the regulatory framework of ICANN domains and extend this into the corresponding Web3 digital identities. We always explain, you may have heard this before, and I apologize to those who have, but .locker can best be explained through our car and bike analogy, where the car is like the domain name, where you can take it on digital highway, you can visit e-commerce shops and websites and news outlets and whatnot, but you have to follow the roads to get there. When you buy your dollar domain, it's like buying your car, but we also give you your bike, which is the Web3 digital identity portion. And that can take you on bike paths and it can take you up to mountains and to these um, bike parks that are being built in the form of ecosystems that your car can't go to. And the only caveat with this is if you own your bike, you have to own your car. So they kind of go hand in hand, but we see it as an extension of where a person can go and where they can participate on the internet. So when we were developing the solution, we had to meet some very strict criteria that we kind of came up with. First and foremost, we felt that the solution had to be ICANN accepted and compliant for like UDRP, suspensions, locks, deletes, etc. It also had to be user friendly, onboarding users easily into the Web3 ecosystem. there had to be little to no registrar or reseller integration because we know that that's an obstacle. There's lots of projects that registrars and resellers are working on, particularly around AI, and looking forward to the next round of TLDs as well. So we wanted to make sure that there was little to no registrar integration. And it had to appeal to a growing audience. We wanted to make sure that there's an audience there for Web3 ready and Web3 curious users. So since launching, we've made significant improvements to the solution. And the latest and most important feature is the integration with the Ethereum naming system, which we announced, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Uh, so when it comes to transactional decentralized application and services, the Ethereum blockchain leads the way. Locker is a Web3 identity, and we minted on the Bitcoin blockchain using Bitcoin's naming service. It is now integrated with the Ethereum naming service that resolves .locker names in Ethereum applications. And so what this means, it really blows open the doors for user utility because any decentralized apps that use the ENS resolver for like .eth names, which there's millions of .eth names, can now resolve .locker names the exact same way. So this is for secure login, sending and receiving digital currencies, tokens, new marketplaces, etc. So with .locker, users get the security of the Bitcoin blockchain and the utility of the Ethereum blockchain. So, so we're currently in the process of polishing this demo, but we do have one for you. Um, and with this particular demo, which Bailey will queue up in a second, um, you will see kind of the end-to-end user onboarding experience and some added features that we recently added around Ethereum. So Bailey, I'll hand it back to you.
Getting into Web3 with .locker is as simple as 1, 2, 3. .locker is a two-part solution that gives you a Web2 domain name with a corresponding Web3 digital identity. It acts as a seamless entry point into Web3 apps on the Bitcoin and Ethereum networks. How does it work? Let's dive in. Step 1, purchase your .locker domain. When you purchase your .locker domain from a registrar of your choice, you'll get an email asking you to claim your corresponding .locker digital identity. This identity is a human-readable name that makes it easier to facilitate transactions on blockchain applications. Step 2, set up your wallet. Before claiming your identity, you'll need a Web3 wallet. Web3 wallets are a must-have for exploring blockchain apps, but the process of finding, vetting, and creating one can be confusing, especially if you're new. .locker removes that barrier by introducing you to Lether, a user-friendly Bitcoin wallet that's compatible with Web3 applications. Step 3, claim your digital identity. Once you have your wallet, head back to the .locker app and follow the prompts. With just a few clicks, you'll connect to your Lether wallet and finish claiming your digital identity. Technically, your Bitcoin digital identity is a non-fungible token, or NFT. When you click Claim Digital Identity, a unique NFT is minted on the Bitcoin blockchain. Minting may take a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on blockchain traffic, but don't worry, the process is handled automatically for you. Now you can explore your .locker dashboard. In your dashboard, you'll be able to view wallet addresses linked to your identity, connect an Ethereum wallet or address, and track your transactions. Blockchain addresses are long strings of random letters and numbers and are not very convenient for sending or receiving crypto. With your .locker digital identity, sending Bitcoin or Ethereum is as easy as sharing your .locker name. Instead of copying and pasting addresses, people can just enter your identity. The funds go straight to your wallet, and you'll see the transaction in your Activity tab. That's the power of your .locker digital identity, making transactions on Bitcoin and Ethereum simpler, safer, and more human. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. Now that Dawn has kind of introduced us to .locker and what goes behind it, Mo is going to talk about our digital asset reward promotion.
Thanks, Bailey. As mentioned before, I'm Mo Mukherjee, the head of partner and operations at Orange Domains. And today I'm going to walk you through DARE, the Digital Asset Rewards Engine. and a partner promotion we built with it. DARE is the industry's first program that gives registrants Bitcoin when they buy a .locker and claim their digital identity. We launched in August, and it's already live with partners like GoDaddy, Namecheap, Dynadot, and NameSilo, among others. It's available to all registrars and resellers, and the promotion runs until the end of the year. So there's plenty of time to get involved and experiment, build campaigns around it. Now, while this promotion features Bitcoin, DARE was designed with the future in mind. The same engine can support other currencies, NFTs, or even an entirely new category of digital assets. So why did we create DARE? Actually, there's three reasons. First, to bring Web3 style gamified promotions into the world of domains. Second, to bridge traditional domain promotions with Web3 rewards. And third, to guide registrants' first step into Web3 by encouraging digital identity adoption. For you as partners, the benefits are clear. Number one, a differentiated marketing hook: buy a domain, get Bitcoin. Number two, the chance to reach new demographics: developers, creators, builders, and Web3 curious users eager to engage with this new economy. And number three, it's simple to implement. There's no setup or added costs, and it's an easy way to stand out in a crowded market. For registrants, the value is just as compelling. Their domains feel more valuable when paired with a digital identity. It's a fun, novel experience, often the very first time they've received Bitcoin. And for many, it becomes their very first digital asset, a true gateway into Web3. And here's what it looks like in action. In this wallet screenshot, you can see the $5 Bitcoin reward already deposited. And the value has actually increased since the registrant claimed it. That's the kind of experience your customers could be having and the kind of engagement you could drive when you run this promotion. Now let's get into how it works.
Sorry about that, Mo.
That's
There it
okay.
is.
Yeah. The digital asset reward engine flow is designed to be really simple for registrants. Step one, they purchase a .locker domain name. Step two, they receive an email with instructions on how to claim their digital identity and reward. Step three, they claim their digital identity and set up their wallet. Registrants need to do this within 14 days of registering the domain in order to get the reward. Step four, once that's done, the reward is initiated. The domain just has to surpass the 5-day ad grace period. Step five, the Bitcoin is deposited and a confirmation is sent, and the rewards are delivered. Rewards are delivered within 7 days of the identity. So from a registrant's perspective, it's straightforward. Buy a domain, claim the identity, and within a week, they're holding Bitcoin in their wallet. Here you'll see some of the marketing placements that our partners have created to promote the DARE campaign. We're really happy with the creativity and effort from our partners. We've learned that placements really matter and they drive campaign results. What's also powerful is weaving DARE across the full customer experience, from awareness channels like blogs, newsletters, social, homepage placements, all the way through to conversion points like search flows and landing pages. Some of the examples in this slide is a Dynadot social post walking users through the steps. And underneath that, you'll see Namecheap search flow with the clear get $5 in Bitcoin hook. You'll see that in the turquoise there. On the right, NameSilo has been doing paid advertising. They've been testing different platforms. And underneath that is one of our resellers, Hover. This is a clip from their newsletter outlining the promotion. So just a few examples of how partners are activating DARE, showing the variety of ways that this campaign can be integrated across the customer journey. We've been very happy to see the early results from this campaign. Since launching DARE, the digital identity claim rate has increased by 84%. Another way to put it is that the August claim rate, when we started the program, nearly doubled July's. With that, I'll hand it back to Bailey.
So we're just going to take a minute to highlight our marketing kit for .locker and Dare. As mentioned before, you're going to get a link to this in the email so you can see everything that's in here. But this is just a quick snapshot of what is in there. You may have seen some of these assets in our previous slides. We have banners, we have blog headers, we have messaging guides, positioning points, everything all in one folder to get you started. We know that Web3 is a new topic for registrars and resellers, so we're doing our best to lay it all out for you. And the marketing kit is in addition to the Learning Hub and Help Center that you can find at my.locker. And this is where you or your customers can learn more about Web3, blockchain technology, or troubleshoot with Locker's very own support team. And like Mo mentioned, in addition to the marketing kit, Locker has appeared in newsletters and social posts and blog articles. All of these touch points have shown to have a positive impact on registrations and identity claim rate. And this is why we're open to activities that go beyond the marketing kit. I personally am here to collaborate, help you strategize, and execute on .locker marketing programs. Whatever you need, I can make it happen. And think of this, the marketing kit, really as your Web3 launch pad. It's designed to save you time and give you a very clear place to start. So if you're wondering where to begin, the folder is going to be your best first step. And one of the brands that has taken advantage of this is NameSilo. NameSilo was the very first partner to launch Dare and participate in the promotion, and they've been really great pioneers in helping us bring this to market. Endrit Muka is NameSilo's CMO, and he's been a super strong advocate for the program and for Locker because he sees the bigger picture here. Domains have been largely stagnant for years, and what Locker is bringing to the table is true value and utility. So it's not just a web address anymore, it's also a digital identity that connects you with the Web3 world. And what's also exciting is that NameSilo has been a really strong partner in the paid ads that Mo mentioned. We've been refining marketing messages, we've been testing out different strategies, and NameSilo is attracting new customers in the Web3 space, but they're also benefiting from the higher margins that Dare provides because Dare doesn't require a price drop. So we can be ensured that NameSilo is attracting customers that are going to build with a purpose. And customers aren't just getting the .locker domain name and $5 in Bitcoin. One thing that Muka really enjoys is that they're learning how to take their first steps into Web3. So they're going to be setting up their digital wallet, they're going to be claiming their identity, and they're going to be getting comfortable with the tools that really define the next wave of the internet. So it's been really incredible to see NameSilo lead the way here. And Muka really agrees that this is just the beginning for .locker and Web3. Partners who lean into this are setting themselves and their customers up for the Web3 revolution that's already well underway, like Don described. And now we're going to hand it right back to Don because he's going to talk about some of the exciting Locker developments that we have on the horizon. I'm sorry, Don, you're on mute again.
Such an amateur. Thanks. Um, we've been launched for 10 months now, and we've seen registrations ranging from AI projects to Web3 blogs, services, new products, applications. These customers who are building with a purpose, and it's exciting to see. So we're continuing our efforts to expand the offering into Web3, other sectors, as well as other TLDs. So first, as we mentioned, we're now integrated into the Ethereum blockchain, and our plan is to continue blockchain interoperability by integrating with Solana naming system next. This will further expand utility for .locker users into Web3 and something that we're very excited about. Second, we've looked at our zone file, and many registrations are people who are Web3 curious and Web3 ready, along with creators, Web3 startups. However, there's one trend we noticed with a significant number of .locker names, and that's in the AI namespace. We believe that the cross section of AI and Web3 will be the next large driving force into this space, and we feel that Locker is the right TLD for this emerging AI Web3 market. So it's something that we're going to be leaning into from a marketing perspective over the next little while as well. And lastly, the Locker solution has been white labeled. We call it minting as a service. And we are talking to existing TLDs, but we're also focusing on working with registry operators for the next round of TLDs. There's many groups who plan to apply for top level domains in the Web3 namespace. And with the success of Locker thus far and our turnkey solution, white label solution, we really feel we're best positioned to partner with these registry operators as they kind of forge into the Web3 space. So as you can see, this is just beginning. We strive to be early than late, and as the industry forges ahead into Web3 and AI, we feel that we're positioned very strategically to grow Locker, but to also grow the market with partnerships with other TLDs.
Okay, so I didn't see any Q&As come in, so we'll wrap this up. So thank you, Don. Thank you, Mo, for sharing. And just to quickly recap, in case you missed it, .locker is the domain for Web3 security and utility. So with the Dare promotion, you're going to add even more value. You're going to boost engagement. You're going to drive higher claim rates. And ultimately, the goal is to increase customer lifetime value. So this isn't just another domain option or another domain promotion. Locker is truly ushering in a new era of domain names with functionality that's going to extend far beyond website and email. Now that we're wrapping up, just a quick preview of what to look for. Like we said, we'll send you the email with all the relevant links and resources, the marketing hub link, or excuse me, a marketing kit link, the links to the Learning Hub and Help Center, and a recording of this webinar that you can share with your colleagues and partners. And that is it. So I'm very excited to see how we can all bring Locker and Dare to the market. And we're really looking forward to building the future of Web3 together. So we want to thank you once again for joining us today. If you have any questions, please reach out. Mo is here to help you onboard and walk through Dare. I'm here to help with the marketing placements and support. And we are here to make Locker a very strong offering with your brand. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Please reach out with any questions.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks everyone.